Hey everyone, Izzy from Endless RVing. We have a DIY video here. This is a common issue. It should be a simple DIY, although I've never done it before. But I want to take you back to our old school. When we started RVing, we used to do a lot of DIY stuff, so you guys can learn some things. It's going to save you a lot of money. It's very common. We're going to change out a leaky faucet on our shower. This shouldn't take very long, although I don't know what I'm going to find when I open things up. Never done it before, but it should be a pretty simple DIY. We'll take you on the step-by-step on how we're going to do it. Now, just a pre-warning, I'm doing this video alone today. MJ's got to work. I didn't want you guys to miss this, so it's not going to be as fancy as the other ones, but it's going to get right to the point. So let's get into it. I'm just going to flip the camera around right here. You can see this is our bathroom faucet. Here's the shower control. So on our last trip, I noticed that right over here, this area here, there was water coming out. Now, if you look over here, you can see it's moving. This obviously vibrates going down the road. Our motorhome now is 5 years old. So that's just cheap plastic, guys. Over time, it's going to break. And that's what I did. I jammed some silicone in there to try to stop it. It really didn't do anything. Ordered the part from Newmar. It was $39 delivered. They have the same exact part. So what I'm going to do is just remove that. Hopefully they gave us a little bit to work with back there. And just replace it. Right now it is December, so we are winterized. So if you look, you can see there's pink fluid everywhere. So the first thing I did before even going on camera, I went out to the low point drains and opened them both up to kind of let the pressure out of the system. I'm also going to have a towel with me. I'll show you the equipment. So once I unscrew, I'm going to assume there's going to be some pink fluid coming out. Just kind of grab that so it's not running behind the walls. So let's show you what I have to do this job. First and foremost, we're going to have the replacement faucet. So there's the faucet directly from Newmar. It comes $39 delivered. There's exact replacement faucet, and then it has in here the securing nuts in here somewhere. I know I saw them before, but right over here, those are the nuts that are going to lock everything in. Pretty simple there. Let's continue on what I have. Little portable screwdriver. You don't want anything too powerful because this is all plastic. This is just to clear out any old caulking. These right here, these are nice caulking edging tools. So if you want to get that nice bead of caulk, you have your edging tools. Some different wrenches. I have some real tough paste thread sealant, so I'll put that on the plastic threads right over here before I make the connections. That way you get a nice watertight seal. Some masking tape or painter's tape, so when I caulk around, it's nice and neat. Just plain old 100% silicone, and some paper towel if I need to clean anything up. Hoping this takes me less than an hour. Hoping it takes me less than 30 minutes. So I do have a portable heater on because it's about 35 degrees out right now. First thing I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to turn this around real quick. I am going to disconnect the shower head. We do have the oxygenic shower head. I'm going to disconnect that and let out any fluid that's there. It's going to just come out anyway. So here's the problem right here. You can see there's definitely a crack in there. And so again, when we were turning it on, the water comes up into here, into the line, and then out the shower head. But it was also leaking right over here. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. After that, guys, I'm just going to use a Phillips screwdriver, or they have like those square head ones. Going to go and unscrew everything and kind of see what's behind here. So I unscrewed everything. This is still on here pretty tight because I put a nice tight silicone seal on here. I'm going to use this tool here just to kind of cut everything up and work my way out to get this base out. So as you can see, once I cut out all that silicone, it came right here. You can see the lines, 2 holes, and then you got your lines. One's going to be hot, one's going to be cold. You want to make sure that you keep the appropriate lines on the appropriate side. That way, when you're trying to call for hot, you get hot, and cold, you get cold. So what I'm just going to clean all this up. I'll get some solution, scrape it up, clean it. I'll show you the solution I use. Once this is all nice and clean with the silicone off, then I'll start disconnecting the connections on here. Went in to get the cleaning solution. I got delayed. I had to let the dogs out, so it's 9:39 right now. So that's what, 20, so we're like already 15 minutes behind, but just want to give you an idea so when I end, you kind of get a good time. So this is what I got here, guys. Prep-all. This Prep-all solution is what I use to clean. It takes silicone off really easily. I'll just put some on a microfiber towel and just keep using it till it cleans all that silicone off. And I just want to make a point. I'm going to kind of show you behind here. So even though this was leaking here, if you see it's all sealed up. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of sealed up in the back, and you can see, or maybe you can't see, but the back looks all dry, which is good. I don't see any red anywhere. I will, of course, check this once I change the system out, kind of pressurize and make sure there's no leaks here. I'm assuming there are no leaks. Hopefully there are not. And one other thing I want to let you guys know, I'm going to keep everything attached here while I clean. It would be easier if I took everything off, but I don't want any of these to fall down, because then I have a real problem. So I'll just change them as I'm going to connect the next one. I'll keep everything on. It'll take me a little bit longer, but it might save me a big headache. Got most of the silicone cleaned up off the wall. I'm now going to disconnect the lines of the old faucet here, faucet controller, and I'm going to put the new faucet on. I'm just going to be using this adjustable crescent wrench here. It looks like they're a little more than hand tighten. I'll go in, I'll loosen them, and then one at a time just kind of replace them out. So you can see both the lines here are now disconnected. It doesn't look like they use any kind of thread sealant or anything, which is a little crazy to me, especially with the vibrations going down the road. I'm going to use that thread sealant. It's not going to hurt it. This one, they gave us enough line here. It's just kind of holding here pressure. The other one, I just put a toothpaste, so you don't want these to fall behind the wall, because then it's going to be a real pain. You have the unit, and then it's connected to this little back plate, and you can see there's some silicone. I'm going to clean that up real nice, because what I'm going to do is put a bead around the whole back of that once I hit it on the wall there, and then I'll seal it around. But I want to make sure it's watertight, of course. And you can see they put this plate so it kind of separates. If there's any leakage here, it's not going to penetrate this plate, which is a good thing. So I cleaned this plate up with the prep ball. You see I got all the silicone off of it, scraped it up, so when I put the bead, it'll be nice and clean. It'll grab on here. I'm assuming this looks like a custom part by Newmar, like a custom plate that they make. This wasn't included in the kit. I'm not sure. In the comments below, if you have a Newmar, let us know. Is this a custom part? So essentially how it's going to go back, this part here you can see with where the rubber gasket is, so this will be facing out. The other one will go on the wall. So now all I have to do is just put the new faucet on, tighten everything up. Before I screw it back into the wall, just pressurize the system again. Since we're winterized, we'll use the RV antifreeze, pressurize the system, make sure there's no leaks. If there's no leaks, put that bead of silicone, get it back on the wall, and then just let it dry for a couple days. We're not going to be going out for a couple of weeks anyway, so it'll be plenty of time. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this plate back on here, and you can see you have the rubber. There's a rubber seal here, and then they provide you with I call them wing nuts, right? The wing nuts, it's all plastic, just to kind of hold this plate in place. I'm going to put some of that, this thread here. Now, again, it's not that there's any water coming through here, but if this can kind of lock it in, because you want this to be nice and tight as you're going down the road, because this is what's holding that plate on with that seal. So I want that to be nice and tight. It's not going to hurt it. It can only help it. Now, the directions to use this is just apply on the threads of the male section. So obviously these are the males. This is good for PVC, plastic, metal, whatever. So I'm just going to put a liberal amount on here, just kind of toward the end on the bottom here, because that's where ultimately it's going to lock. And I'll just kind of put this amount on here and just kind of put it around. I'll spread it with my fingers. And I'm going to use this same stuff on the threads when I connect the actual lines. So I'm just going to show you here. Just kind of spread it around. Doesn't have to be perfect. And what's weird is that Newmar uses this stuff. I know they had it on the plumbing coming out from the kitchen drain and the pump. They had it on that plumbing, so I don't know why they don't use it on here. So I'm just going to lock this down. Let me wipe my fingers off. What you want to make sure of is that when you lock it, that this is kind of nice and even. You don't want it crooked, because then you have to pull everything back out and straighten it out. So as you can see, it's pretty straight. As straight as going to be. I don't know if these holes are actually cut perfect. So I'm going to hand tighten it down as much as I can, and then I'm going to just give it a little bit extra with the wrench. You want to have that good seal. You see the rubber here? You want to make sure that that seal is nice and tight, but you don't want to squash it. So that's pretty much hand tight. I'll just give it a little bit extra with the wrench. Grab it here, a little bit more of a turn. Just get a good grab. Just a little bit more. That's that I can't loosen it by hand. And now with that thread stuff on, that thread sealant, it should be good going down the road. So I'm just get off camera a little bit. I have it grabbed here. Just give it a bit hand tight, and then a little bit extra, and I should be good there. And now I can't remove that without a tool, which is what I want. Now that I have the plate on, They're going to go connected right here to these connections. I'm going to put that same sealant kind of right on the end over here. So when I connect those, hand tight, the little bit extra, I'll then pressure test. I'll pressurize the system, make sure there's no leaks here, no leaks here. If there are, I'll have to deal with them. But I don't think there is, because I don't see, if you look back here, nothing looks wet at all. Like there's no red, and I'm assuming there was some leaks. I would have seen some spotting of red somewhere. So again, I'm going to take the Real Stuff PTFE paste thread sealant. I'm going to just kind of spread it on the end here. And you could also use Teflon tape. You can do that. That's fine. I just like this stuff, but either one will work. All right, I'm just going to kind of work it with my finger, spread it. That way it grabs on, make my connections. So the connections are made again, hand tight, which I'm hand tight already on each one. And then I'm just going to go a little bit extra. Once I'm done, I'll kind of clean this all up with a paper towel. Then I'm going to pressurize the system. So let's look at the connection. I kind of cleaned it up a little bit. These can't move just with hand. You will need a tool to get those out. So I want to make sure the valve is off, right? Valve off, because once you pressurize this system, this will actually shoot up to the ceiling. So valve off. We're going to go outside. We'll use the siphoning hose, doing the winterizing steps, pressurize everything, and then I'm just going to sit for a little bit, make sure there are two things. Number one, that I see pink in those lines, and number two, that I don't see any leaks. So the system's been pressurized. I'm going to reconnect the shower head. I'm going to call for water just to make sure that there's water in these lines here. Then I'll shut the valve off. I'll just sit a little bit, look, make sure there's no leaks. So as you can see, there is pink in the shower head line, and then also, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's pink in the lines, and it doesn't appear that there's any leaks anywhere here. Doesn't look like there's anything here, so we should be good to go with this. So the final thing I'm going to do, I'm going to run a bead of caulk on the inside, silicone, on the inside of that plate. I'm then going to attach it. I'll put a little bead of silicone on each screw right at the end, so that way it kind of seals in there. Attach it, and then I'll run a bead of caulk sealant on the outside also. And I'm going to clean up and just let this dry for, we've got plenty of time, but usually you want to be at least 24 hours if you're going to run water in here. I'm just going to let it dry. So here's the final result, guys. So right now it is 10:48. Remember I tell you I had a couple of delays. Also, I've been filming, so I kind of had to set up the camera. So I would give myself, or if you're going to do it, half hour to 45 minutes at most. You can see the final bead of caulk up here. We're going to let all that dry so everything is sealed up. And also, remember, I put a bead behind here when I put it on the wall. I also put beads of silicone caulk in the screws, kind of around. It's all sealed up all around. Tested it. We're good to go, guys. Final thing for me to do is just going to be clean up the mess that I made here. Not really a big mess. Just going to wipe everything down. We'll be out at the Tampa show. We have videos coming up on that. If that is out prior to this video, we'll link it above. Also, we have a winterizing video. We did like 2 of them. We didn't do one this year because it's kind of repetitive. We'll link that one. Also above, simple DIY, guys. $39 delivered for the faucet. This paste here, I think, was like $4. So we're under $45. I promise you, if I took this to a RV service place, it's $400 because they're going to be at least an hour of labor at $200 plus my travel to and from gas, and I never leave a service center up paying less than $400, and this is very simple to do. In the comments below, let us know what kind of faucets or faucets do you have on your RV. Also, have you had to change them out? Please share what you have, what you did. If you like videos like this, to the left of us, we'll put our RV DIYs playlist, put our RV Newbies playlist, and for myself, MJ's not here, it's a journey of a lifetime, and I'll see you on the road.